Yes, they definitely did, Julia. Over 4,000 people applied to work at the Cheesecake Factory. So not only are they bringing yummy food, they're bringing a lot of growth and development to Huntsville, too. And here's where officers say Ragland reached for her weapon right around here. So after that, things did move very quickly and shots were fired. Over 500 homes and businesses were without power throughout last night and this morning. Can you imagine if you were driving in your car or walking down the street and you get the notification that someone is tracking your every move? Some of the world's most legendary artists made songs at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals. I even got to stand in the same spot that Etta James stood in when she recorded I'd Rather Go Blind 60 years ago. You can feel the magic right when you walk in through the doors. In a time full of controversy and hardship,
I have a dream.
Music is a language that everyone understood. And at the heart of history is a small recording studio in Muscle Shoals.
Music is a language that is pervasive amongst all human beings.
Florence, Alabama Music Enterprises is where it all started nearly 60 years ago. And at the center of it all is Rick Hall, an Alabama native that worked with the best of the best, the father of Muscle Shoals. The hit songs that he helped create will always be a part of Black history.
He was just my husband.
A husband, father, and an icon. Rick recruited legendary talent to Alabama and put Muscle Shoals on the map. Fame Studios has produced hits for many Black artists, including Aretha Franklin, Etta James, and Wilson Pickett. Back in the 1960s, music was a way to mend relationships and create bonds.
It is elastic, where it's for everybody. It's not just for a kind of person or a color of person or anything like that. It is for all of us.
Despite discrimination happening across the state, the owners of Fame claim they provided a safe space for artists to be creative and bare their souls on a record.
He never had the racial problems here like they were having in Birmingham and elsewhere. It just didn't happen here.
And the history wasn't left behind. The same instruments that were used almost 60 years ago are still sitting in Studio A.
This has been here since the studio was open, and it's been on pretty much anything and everything we can possibly put it on. Rick always joked and said he never had a #1 hit that didn't have the Wurlitzer on it.
The best part is that today's artists can record using the same legendary equipment. Notable Black singers Alicia Keys and Jennifer Hudson have sung at Fame Studios.
Yeah, anybody and everybody can come in here and get that little piece of fame.
Rick Hall left a legacy for his wife and his kids. His memory will live forever in the walls of Fame.
It was a lot of joy in what he was doing, and he enjoyed it so much.
Music broke barriers and touched souls, no matter the race, gender, or economic status. Some of the most iconic songs started in a town with fewer than 15,000 people.
I think it's interesting. There is something about this part of the Tennessee Valley, right, where the river is and all that kind of stuff, that there's just a vibe here where it was just inherently musical to begin with.
Muscle Shoals, a small town in Alabama with a huge role in Black history. Since the start of the pandemic in March of last year, over 16,000 people in Alabama unknowingly gave their loved ones one last hug and kiss. We've seen more COVID cases this year compared to when the pandemic first started, and through the hard times, one Huntsville woman has persisted and created an empire. 36-year-old Melody Holt is an actress, recording artist, motivational speaker, and a TV personality. She's managed to get her businesses off the ground in the middle of a pandemic. I asked her how she did it, and she says the secret is writing down your goals and creating New Year's resolutions.
So of course I love to write down my goals for the year, and that allows me to really keep track of where I am, what I'm accomplishing, and what I'm kind of falling behind on that I may need to catch up on. And I think it's also great to articulate your goals to your friends, to your family, because it kind of gives you an opportunity to have people who are holding you accountable.
And accountability is important. By the the end of the year, only 9% of people have completed their New Year's resolution, a statistic that Holt says needs to be changed immediately.
We've got to make sure we are making realistic type resolutions.
With over 800,000 positive COVID cases in Alabama, Holt recognizes the mental and physical challenges that the pandemic brought with it.
2020, there were all kinds of things coming at us from every which of way. So goals that you set or resolutions you set in the end of 2019, if you didn't meet those in 2020, it's okay. 2020 was a crazy year.
And through her reach on social media, not only is she a role model for the community, but for her kids too. The pandemic has been rough for everyone, but Melody Holt encourages the Rocket City to use their time wisely and create new goals for 2022.
In Huntsville, Aiyana Willoughby, Fox 54 News.